Well, hello everybody. Welcome to some more Prison Architect. This is actually the mobile version, Prison Architect Mobile. Now, somebody asked, do I have other things, or is it just this? And I do have other stuff, but I haven't been able to find a effective way to make those things, and it's just easier to do things on here. Primarily, the problem is I record everything on my device. My consoles are hooked up to my TV, and the TV is longer than my device. So you're only going to get some rather than everything if I even try. And I have to get super close to do things. So you're only going to see what's in the frame. And it probably just makes more sense to do things here where you can see everything. Anyway. Thank you for asking. I also saw and commented on, well, actually responded to several other comments. I really appreciate the input and support. That I'm getting. So thank you to everybody who has been commenting. Very supportive and compassionate. As with me, you can never really know when I'm feeling down, and then I'm just gonna say, forget it, just forget everything. I can consider trying to do things on my console. I've been considering that for a while, but as I said, I haven't been able to find a particularly good or just efficient or just, efficient way to make that type of stuff. For a while they haven't been working, but I decided to put them back to work. I think. Maybe they don't. Yeah, they have jobs. to get really low reoffending rates, I use, I think, a pretty effective and powerful combination of work, like reform, and punishment. Because they'll be punished for all sorts of misconduct. Whether if it's just slight things like complaining to like the most severe type of misconduct. And then the worst offenders, and then the worst people face the ultimate punishment that will literally result in their deaths. No, not from shooting them, at least all the time, but rather probably a worse way. Probably a worse way to die. That's just to slowly starve to death. But that's only for the most serious and extreme of situations. So it's only ever done in the most serious, extreme situations. So fortunately, nobody, unless they're that terrible, is going to face punishment like that here. Or even ever. As the guards and armed guards seem to keep them in check. Due to the fact that we don't have metal detectors, I had decided to use phone taps. So we can listen in on the phone calls. And then I also have solitary. Previously, this place didn't have solitary. But now there's a lot of reasons you go to solitary. In fact, you'll probably be in in fact, if you do something bad, you'll be in solitary more than lockdown now. And it's for 6 hours, and you'll be searched at night. Too. But usually I tend to try to do it in the evening, like right after you eat. So I've taken the advice that the several comments have provided, and like I said, I thank you for it. The video was mainly just to look for that. Looking for advice and whatnot, ideas on how to make my stuff better. And I responded to all of those comments, actually. So, for anybody that's new to my channel, this is probably the primary game I'd say I would play. I have quite a large playlist. I do Call of Duty stuff as well, but not a whole lot of stuff. I had another channel in the past. It lasted for probably 6 years or so. Then it kind of just died out. So I decided to start fresh, like this. That's kind of the short story of how things work, if you will. That's just really how things came about when it comes to my channel. And for anyone who has seen the name and wonders why COD Club Mixers, it's because I do Call of Duty things. So COD for Call of Duty. Club because when you subscribe or even just watch my videos, I consider you part of a club. And then Mixers. I don't do just Call of Duty stuff, I do other stuff. So, yes, I do often pause. It's very long. And, that's because usually of either anxiety or just a common thing that happens is I lose my place. So I kind of have to... I think it's just called losing your train of thought. I think it happens to everybody every so often. But for some, it happens a little more than normal. Yeah, they have a medium amount rather than a high amount. A medium amount seems to do just fine. As you can tell, well, I think they have a pretty straightforward schedule, particularly when it comes to eating. They have breakfast and dinner. They don't have lunch. They used to, but now they don't have lunch. So this is right around the time that I'd be searching them. I usually tend to wait until they're all in the cell. And that can take quite a while. Or if this guy won't go on his own, or if he goes too slow, I'm gonna have the guards take him there. There's no point in wasting time like that. We're gonna search the cells. Usually, I probably should be looking at the Contraband Supply and Demand report before I do the searches to see, should I search only the cells or should I search the whole facility? Because usually high contraband levels would indicate that we need to search everything. 15 are awaiting solitary. I think we have enough solitary for that many. Probably many more. I usually try to search them at a fairly acceptable time. Well, the remainders are asleep. These guys have to stand solitary. But, for anybody new, welcome to the club. That's kind of my, I guess you could say my motto, for new people. Especially new subscribers. I don't ask for subscribers because I feel like asking is just kind of like almost a desperate type of thing where it's like when somebody asks for people to subscribe, it's like they're like almost begging people to follow you, to follow them. And I'm not somebody that needs followers. I'm not somebody that, really needs followers, if you will. That's just not. I just don't think in that way, if you will. That's really what it is. We can bring in 4 more. How many do we have? We need. Well, you know, I'm actually thinking of waiting a little longer. %12 chance. I actually deliberately make it as hard as possible to successfully pass the parole hearing. So, because most of these guys are sleeping, but a few actually don't sleep at night. Like, these ones in particular actually are awake because they sleep in the morning. I really only jokingly say that their sleep wake cycle is off, or they're sleep deprived. Not to make fun of sleep deprived people, or to make fun of people that are like that. I say that because I was sleep deprived before. So, yeah. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.